Think of collegiate wrestling with submissions. That is essentially what catch is.
Josh Barnett could be considered as something of a cult classic in the world of mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. In the world of catch wrestling, Barnett is widely considered to be one of, if not the greatest catch wrestler of the past 20 years. He's definitely in the debate that people in the comments may feel free to have. Josh Barnett's journey into mixed martial arts began when he saw UFC 2 as a sophomore in high school. Whilst at school, Barnett excelled in wrestling and football, whilst also training in judo, karate, and Muay Thai. With the prospect of a football career looming at the University of Montana, Barnett chose instead to pursue fighting. He made his debut by winning a fight organized by his former high school wrestling coach Matt Hume against Chris Charnos. Barnett would win the bout via submission in under 3 minutes after locking in a rear naked choke. If you hear the guy talk about fighting, you can feel the passion that led to this decision to pursue fighting rather than football.
This was something that I could see was innate to me. Doing this is as natural as eating or breathing or anything like that. It's not an illusion to me that this is what I was born to do. I was born to be.
He had also engaged in mutual combat fights he had organized over the internet, which wasn't as crazy as it sounds, I promise. He would begin training in catch wrestling and mixed martial arts with Hume's AMC Pancration team during this time and would get 9 wins and 0 losses, defeating Dan Severn and Bobby Hoffman among others. Now Barnett is by no means a small man, standing around 6'3" and weighing around 260 pounds. However, during his first UFC appearance, Josh Barnett would fight a man that outsized him quite significantly. The 6'10", nearly 300-pound giant Gan McGee. Josh Barnett would face the giant at UFC 28 and proved his ability to fight from underneath as he was overpowered initially by the giant's strength and size. Barnett would unleash several hard-hitting shots from the guard position, whilst McGee would respond with a couple of shots of his own. McGee gets warned by the referee several times for repeated illegal elbows to the back of the head. Under the pressure of these illegal shots, Barnett attempts an escape with an impressive demonstration of leg strength that finds him on the receiving end of another illegal elbow to the back of the head. The referee warns McGee that this is his last chance before a disqualification. Barnett manages to subdue the onslaught of the giant with some defensive jiu-jitsu. Barnett is seemingly searching for an armbar or any other hook he can lock in, but doesn't manage to find it before taking a vicious right-hand square to the face. He again subdues the attacker by bringing him in close. The fact that Barnett is still moving so strategically after taking several illegal elbows to the back of the head from a nearly 7-foot 300-pound giant is wild. The giant mounts and attempts some more ground and pound, some of which doesn't seem to find home, some of which lands. Barnett manages to reassume a guard position before the klaxon sounds, marking the end of the first round. There's a confidence to McGee's corner. However, Barnett receives a hell of a pep talk and seems to take it on board.
Beat him. You want to win? You want to come back here?
Damn right.
Then kick his butt this round. You understand?
Yes.
The fight resumes, and after taking a leg kick, McGee takes Barnett to the cage. Josh attempts to lock in a guillotine, which McGee takes as an opportunity to score a single leg takedown. Barnett lands some clean shots to the side of McGee's face. The shots have clearly rattled McGee, who becomes far more hesitant. McGee's approach is now akin to a man trying to retrieve his phone from the bottom of a barrel of snakes. The snakes bite one too many times for McGee as he ducks in to try and take cover. Barnett continues to land, though not as heavily, and McGee is exhausted at this point. This exhaustion opens the door for Barnett to land some elbows. In an attempt to avoid the elbows, McGee finds himself wrapped up in a triangle hold that, whilst not applied to its full effect, allows Barnett to land more shots. Repeated elbows prompt the giant to escape the triangle and attempt to roll Barnett over to a better position. But Barnett does a backwards roll and gathers himself to grab McGee's legs for a takedown. McGee manages to get up quickly after the slam, but it's clear Barnett has been conserving energy throughout the bout better than the giant has. Barnett's corner shout to him that McGee is tired and spur Josh on. McGee's attempt to break up the grapple only leads to more shots to the face, and the next time they lock up, McGee is knackered. Barnett looks to his corner and nods. At this point, it seems the giant is just trying to hold the most comfortable position to recover in until he shoots for a takedown, but Barnett catches him and shows the balance that a high-level wrestler has. McGee can't take him down, and Barnett takes it to the ground, and now Josh Barnett is fighting from the top for the first time in the entire bout, and now McGee is really in trouble. With around 30 seconds left in round 2, Barnett releases a flurry of punches to the exhausted, now defenseless giant, and wins the bout via TKO. After that, the young baby-faced assassin is wilding, tongue out, thumb across the throat type shiz. After the initial celebration of victory, Barnett goes to check on McGee, who is still lay on the floor being checked on by officials. Barnett is officially declared the winner, and in this moment had shown what a world-class fighter he was. He had been dubbed the babyface assassin, due to his youthful look and vicious capacity for violence. Pretty badass. If I had to rate Barnett's debut out of 10, I'd probably have to give it a 9. The match told a David and Goliath story perfectly. Barnett showed the world how resilient and strategic he can be. In fact, a lot of archetypal stories played out in reality during this match. David vs Goliath, the tortoise and the hare. The fight also established a pro-wrestling style heel versus face dynamic. It's naturally within us to root for the underdog or the smaller competitor as the hero, but when the giant starts repeatedly hitting illegal elbows and breaking rules, it really makes him a heel. So for the real-life compelling storytelling that played out, and for the skill and resilience demonstrated, it gets a 9 out of 10. The only drawback was that the match wasn't the most action-packed, as most of it took place on the ground with very little striking and no big slams or super wow moments. In our next video in this series, we'll go further through Barnett's career and see where he would go after this victory. As always, if you liked the video, then hit the like button. You should probably also subscribe and leave a comment if you fancy joining in the discussion and what have you. As always, I've been the Sarcastic Mark. Thanks for watching.